Morning, everybody. Hope you're ready for a good day today. I know I am, and I have a good story for you today. It's called A Sick Day for Amos McGee. Now, hopefully you're not having a sick day today, but that's happened to everybody where we wake up and we just don't feel so good. And that happens to our character, one of our characters in this story, and that's Amos right there. You can see him. And I think you probably noticed some other characters too. And so we'll see what happens when Amos wakes up for a sick day. A Sick Day for Amos McGee by Philip Steed. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, you can see his bed over there, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. And I love that this is his little house. And it's just this little tiny house in the middle of all these kind of big city buildings. I think that's such a neat illustration. Every day, camera issues. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move, run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost, sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy, lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose, and at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. Now one day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and the sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back again, and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." Oh, and do you notice Amos has these great bunny slippers? I love little details like that in a story. Now, meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his pawns and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently, all by himself. The rhinoceros is worried that his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. Where is Amos? The animals wondered. How do you think they feel, that Amos hasn't shown up? Maybe a little worried for their friend? Later that day, you remember this gate, right? This is how Amos went to work. It looks like the animals are leaving the zoo. And the next couple of pages don't have any words. So see if you can use the picture clues to figure out what's happening. Looks like they're maybe waiting for something. What do you think they could be waiting for? I think that's the same bus that Amos took. Hooray! My good friends are here. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. "I'm too tired to run races today," said Amos to the tortoise. "Let's play hide and seek instead." The tortoise hid up inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. "I could use a nap." The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. "Achoo!" Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you, said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea. Amos wound his alarm clock. It's getting late, he said. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. So Amos said good night to the elephant, and good night to the tortoise, and good night to the penguin, and good night to the rhinoceros, and good night to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light. There they are. And then you can see the next day, you don't see Amos there, but certainly all the animals are going back to the zoo. Have a really good day. I miss you guys, but I'll see you back here tomorrow morning for another story, all right? Bye-bye.